Yes, footy's back, and isn't it great to be back for the start of the 1993 season and a round one game in the Foster's Cup between Richmond and the Sydney Swans here at Lavington in southern New South Wales. This is the first day of the Albury-Wodonga Sports Festival, and people have come from all over the place to be here today, and this is one of the star attractions of the festival. The ground is in perfect condition. It's been watered this morning. It should be great for the players, and at the moment we have just a slight breeze going down from left to right on the ground towards the small grandstand here at about 5 kilometres per hour, and really the goal advantage should be nothing out of that. The weather forecast for today is perfect here on the banks of the Murray. Fine, mild and sunny, a current temperature of 28 degrees, an expected top of 30, and at the moment the humidity is 31%. Well, during the week we weren't too sure whether there was going to be a game of football or not, because the AFL Players Association threatened strike action during the Foster's Cup. But fortunately yesterday they announced that they weren't going to target the Foster's Cup. Although I don't think we've heard the end of it. They'll fight it out in the courts for their better conditions through the Industrial Relations Commission. Let's have a look at the coaching appointments and the captains for season 1993. And for Richmond, John Northey is the new coach, coming back to the team where he played 117 games, including 2 premierships. After 7 years at Melbourne, and he once coached the Sydney Swans too. And Jeff Hogg is the new captain for Richmond, replacing Dale Waitman, who's been at the helm for the last 4 years. Gary Buckenara, in his second year of coach of the Sydney Swans, of course, a 4 times Hawthorn premiership player. And interesting, Mark Bayes is the acting captain today, and Paul Kelly was a surprise selection as captain during the week. Well, with me in commentary today, he's standing on a milk crate, Bernie Quinlan. That's the only excuse I can give you being up there. It's great to be here and start of footy 93.
That is terrific, Drew, and perfect conditions here at Lavington. These sides, of course, played off for the wooden spoon last year in round 24, and of course we'll be expecting a lot more in 1993. As we look at the Richmond side, a few new faces to have a look out for in this Richmond side. We've got Wayne Herneman, Paul Bullis, Robert Schaefer, John Howard, of course, from Melbourne, who'll be playing across halfback, and under the father-son rule, Mark Pitura, the son of Johnny Pitura, and he is a very promising player, I am told. Haven't seen much of him. And we look at the Sydney Swans, a new player there, Dean McRae from North Melbourne, Jason Daniels from St Kilda, Michael Werner and Ed CONSIDINE from Essendon, and Scotty Waters from the West Coast Eagles, along with Peter Baldwin, who's a much-travelled footballer playing with North Melbourne Geelong and finishing off last year in Tasmania.
On you, Bernie, looking forward to hearing from you during the day, and I'll be looking forward to sitting next to you so I can look at you eyeball to eyeball. Ian Robertson will join us in commentary. The game not far away. We'll be back soon. Just to explain once again some of the Foster's Cup special rules. We're going 4 20-minute quarters with time on added as soon as the boundary and goal umpires signal. There'll be no drawn games, so if the scores are level, we'll have 2 extra periods of 2 5-minutes with time on. Ian Robertson in commentary with us. Good afternoon.
Well, I must say, Drew, looking at those guys do that pre-season training, it was nothing like that 20 years ago. And thank goodness I'm up here in the commentary box. But it's great to be here, and it's certainly an eye-opener for me coming up to Albury-Wodonga. It's a great expanse, and a lot of people obviously living up here, so I'm sure they'll enjoy this game here between the Swans and Richmond.
John Murnane and Anton McKernan are the umpires in charge today. So season 1993 kicking off at Albury-Wodonga up near the Murray. And the ruckmen facing each other. Esler for Richmond, John of the Sydney Swans. Good to see that Gareth John is back after that bad throat injury he received in 1991. And away we go. The Swans going left to right. And this will be some clash of bodies. Esler's about 6'9", and down he went. Came to Herman, the ex-Carlton player. Knight's out of the, rather Lambert out of the middle, the hand pass over the top. Now Maxfield, his left footer out to the left. A bit of a chance for Jackson, Stevan Jackson.
Well, a good build up there by the Tigers. I wonder well out of the middle. Of course, they have very good smaller players, and they're the players that the Sydney Swans really must worry about. Lambert is a prolific ball winner. And Jackson has got plenty of ability. His fitness has probably let him down in the past. He does look much fitter this year. Still will be having a very tight shot at goal from about 20-25 metres out.
And a top view of it. Oh, it's a good kick. Just gets away at the end. And through for a minor score. So first score on the board to the ex-West Coast Eagles, Stevan Jackson for Richmond.
And Mark Bayes with the football at full-back for the Swans. Looks as though he's going to kick the ball long, which is one of Bayes' certain attributes, and that is a magnificent kick nearly into the centre of the ground. There's a real chance here for Lewis. Lewis kicks the ball a long way, but this is a scrubber. Out towards right half forward. Daniels taps it on, couldn't quite control it. Kick came in from Cresswell, in towards full forward. The Richmond boys desperate, but Carroll has a chance now. Dennis Carroll, left foot kick high in the air across the face of goal, and it goes out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Swans on the full. So a free kick to be taken for the Tigers, back there by young Mark Pitura, the son of John Pitura, who played just over 20 games with the Tigers back in the 70s.
And that is a terrific mark drag down by Essler.
A bit of attention there too, coming from Gareth John.
Up towards centre wing. Huge pack gathering. No mark taken. You see the desperation. McGovern for the Swans, running out of room, but he got a little handball along the ground to Lewis, who took a buffeting. Ball went out of play and the umpire calls for a throw-in. Could nearly have been a free kick to Lewis.
There's a magnificent kick out from Mark Bayes from full back there a couple of minutes ago. If Lewis had have been able to do better with his kick, it would have been a great scoring opportunity there for the Sydney Swans.
Lambert attempting to get the ball into the clear. Umpire has seen a free kick there, and it's against Craig Lambert for throwing the ball. Well, umpire very close to the action there. The free kick goes to Brunton. Brunton's kick finds John at left half forward. Hand pass over the top. Murphy, chance for Lewis. Lewis's kick high in towards full forward. High flyer there was Bullis. Kick comes across the face of goal into the opposite back pocket area for the Tigers. Leading in the race for the ball was Maxfield and Daniels, but the ball goes over in front of them, so we'll have a throw in just inside the 50-metre line in the right half-forward flank position for the Sydney Swans. Essler, but punched away by Nettlebeck. A scramble for the football at half-forward for the Swans. Opportunity now for Cresswell. He can't break clear. Campbell gets the ball to Lambert. Lambert swooping hand pass. Howard. Howard short kick. Herneman. Now Herman. On it goes to Lees, who fumbles. Critical fumble. Free kick. And the free kick will go to Lees. Maybe a little fortunate. Just between half-back and centre wing for the Tigers.
This is Herneman, and you've picked a problem there for commentators at Richmond games this year. Herman and Herneman. Little handball up to Waters, Scott Waters. The ex-West Coast Eagle played 18 games with the Premiers last year, but didn't play in any finals. And the Swans swapped their priority draft pick to get a couple of Eagles over here. Clean possession, but the whistle's gone. It's going to be a Richmond free kick, and it'll be taken by Turner. Scott Turner, just forward of centre wing, to centre half forward. Hogg too late. It's punched away from Murphy. He's crunched out of it. Chance here for the Tigers. Hogg at centre half forward. The umpire said he threw it, just as McQueen was going to have a bit of a chance from about 40 metres. And the free kick comes back to the Sydney Swans to be taken by David Murphy.
Murphy's hand pass away to Bayes. Bayes goes long. Another magnificent kick by the centre half back. He kicks it nearly to centre half forward. Lambert, closely challenged by Brunton. Ball goes to the ground. Bullis. Bullis's hand pass. Oh, there's a bit of a dust-up between Lambert and Brunton.
Yes, Brunton, of course, with the job of tagging Craig Lambert. It was a magnificent tackle.
Boundary throw in, left half forward flank for the Sydney Swans. Up high was Nettlebeck. Bullis leaves it there for Young. Bullis goes through again and does some good backup work there, but his kick just slightly astray. And the mark is taken back there for the Swans by McGovern. McGovern transfers play to the right-hand half-forward flank. High flyer at the back. Can't take the mark was Nettlebeck. Good hand pass by Kapler. Away to McRae. McRae's kick into the right forward pocket. A little bit too far. It's out of bounds on the full. So the free kick will be taken back there for Richmond by young Mark Pitura.
John Pitura's son at the club in the father-son rule. Kicks out, clears the 50 well. On a huge leap at the back. Nettlebeck couldn't take the mark. Ball comes round the boundary line, run over by McRae, and we'll have a throw-in. In between wing and half-forward for the Sydney Swans. The ruckman doing battle. John palms down, comes to Daniels, the ex-Saint. Brunton's hand pass. Well done, Lees. Up to centre wing. High climb, but no mark taken there by Francis. Long ball towards full forward came from Considine. Chance here for the Sydney Swans. Open running goal. Kicked by Werner. So the two Essendon players, Ed Considine and Michael Werner, featuring in the Swans' first goal for the season.
Yes, Werner filling in at full forward. Of course, Simon Minton-Connell would have been playing there, but he's just got back from his honeymoon a couple of days ago. So he is, of course, underprepared for this Foster's Cup match. And a couple of experienced Essendon players there combining for that very good goal for the Sydney Swans.
So the ball about to be bounced in the centre, and a free kick going the way of the Swans. Obviously the Tigers, too many players in that centre square, and certainly the free kick, Richmond thought they had it, but it's going back to, go on, Bert.
He might have been fortunate there, I think, Essler, because it was quite obvious the way the free kick was being awarded, and that was going to Gareth John, and the umpire a little bit lenient there. Could have been a 50-metre penalty.
Good kick by John in the direction of Werner. High leap, couldn't take the mark. Tigers working overtime at half back. It's Herman, his kick, player being held, maybe a free kick to Richmond. It's against Werner, and it will go back to Brian Lees, the very hard-hitting Richmond defender. Plays on quickly, kicks it back towards the centre of the ground. In front, good mark taken there for Richmond by McQueen. And I like the look of him over the last year or so, McQueen. He's kicking towards half forward, good lead, good mark by Hogg. Turner's made position in the pocket, but Hogg's going across the face, and Richmond will take the mark, and it's a good mark taken there by Francis. And the boys, well, it's a warm day, so temperaments are going to be tested a little bit here this afternoon. Sydney lead, they've kicked one goal, Richmond have kicked it behind. Swans interchange players warming up on the boundary line right down in front of us here as Francis prepares. Opportunity to kick the Tigers. First goal. Francis, good kick. Very good kick by Matthew Francis as a goal. So the Tigers hit back. They lead by 1 point. They're 1-1. Sydney are 1 goal.
That's what Francis wearing the long sleeves along with Craig Lambert. Conditions very warm here at Lavington, around about the 30-degree mark. It just surprises me that players can play with long sleeves in conditions such as these. A good build up there. Hogg knew he was too far out from goal to kick that into the breeze, and he did make magnificent position along that outer wing. Francis to take that easy chest mark.
Tigers leading by a point. Gareth John wins in the middle. Pretty slippery there, that cricket pitch area. Whistle's gone, high tackle. Free kick will go to the Swans. And it's coming back to Scott Watters, ex-West Coast Eagle. Touches the man on the mark, carries no distance. Punch back by Free. Down goes Campbell. John's hand pass ineffective. Watters, you're in trouble, son. Lambert, the first decisive possession for a while. A beautiful kick round the corner out wide to centre wing. A chase on for the ball. Maxfield leads the race. Well shepherded by a teammate. Up to Jackson. He's got rid of his opponent, Rose again. Jackson on the left boot from the pocket. Across the face of goal. McQueen's there. But the ball is knocked out in defence by Gray, who did well. No score, and we'll have a throw in alongside the behind post. On the bench for the Swans, we have Angove, Luff, Baldwin and Stevens. John gets there too late, can't compete for this one. It comes back. Oh, he's thrown it away in the tackle, and that's what the Richmond players thought. A kick back in front of goal. Richmond a chance, overrun by Maxfield. Hand pass by McRae, not great. Comes up the ground to Daniels, who overruns it. Now Richmond, but the whistle's gone to free kick to Jason Daniels.
A little bit lucky to get away with that free kick. Some sloppy hand passing there from the Sydney Swans coming out from half back.
Daniels, kick into the centre of the ground. Mark is taken for the Swans by McGovern. Again, some sloppy hand passing, taken away by Cresswell. Cresswell's kick into the forward line. Mark taken by Werner. Now, Bernie, how important is it experience? Werner, who's played quite a bit of football at senior AFL level against a youngster, 18 years of age, Mark Pitura.
Well, it is very, of course, experience you cannot bye experience, and Werner was a good player, I thought, at Essendon. I don't think he had all that many opportunities. Every time I saw him play at full forward, he did a good job. And I think the way the ball was delivered there, it would have been hard for any fullback.
OK, Werner from only 30 metres out. Good kick by Michael Werner's a goal. The Werner's now kicked the Swans 2 goals, and the Swans lead by 5 points.
Getting back to Werner, Robbo, I think he is a much better player playing on the forward line. He was moved around a fair bit at Essendon, ended up having stints across half-back and even on the full-back line. But I see when he does make a lead, there's not too many forwards in the game as competent as he is. He makes a terrific fast lead.
2 goals to Sydney, 1-1 to Richmond. Michael Werner has kicked both the Swans' goals. Trying to crash his way through there for Richmond was McQueen, and he has been awarded a free kick. No, yes, it is going back to McQueen, back near the centre circle area.
Mark McQueen, his kick inside half forward. Hogg taken out of it, free kick to Hogg, the new skipper. I spoke to Coach John Northey during the week, and he said he will be playing him at full forward. He is a man who could kick goals, and there have been various coaches at Richmond in the past who have wanted him to plug gaps all over the place, and very noticeably at full back quite often. But a couple of years ago, I remember a day when he kicked 10 goals. It's still underfoot in the centre circle, and once again the umpire will ball it up. So neither of these ruckmen have been able to palm down to a teammate as yet. Essler, a giant of a man, about 6'9" from Kui Rup.
They seem very intent on physical clashes instead of maybe getting their hands on the football.
They're both jumping very early, aren't they, Robbo? And it looks like Essler with the initiative early, because Gareth John wanting to do the wrestling and not wanting to face him from the other side.
That's exactly right.
Well, welcome back to the Lavington Sports Ground with pictures as Essler takes the free kick from just behind the centre circle, and a good defensive mark taken by Lewis and a clip round the ear as well.
Good effort.
Swans lead by 5 points, 3 goals to 2 goals 1.
And a wasted kick there too, coming from Lewis.
Francis up towards half forward. Campbell, second in their best and fairest last year. Campbell, diving mark, or it looked like a half volley, but the mark has been paid to Naish. And Chris Naish, who is a local from up this way, Wangaratta. Yes, he just got there and claimed the mark. Wangaratta not far down the road. Chris Naish from deep in the forward pocket, across the face of goal, Jackson, but it's crossed the behind line for a score off Naish.
Tricky breeze blowing the ground here. It's basically coming across the ground, maybe favouring the end to which the Swans are kicking.
I think Bayes would probably go straight down the ground again, Robbo.
Well, he did kick it nearly to the centre with his previous kick in. This is not much shorter of centre. Chance now for McGovern. Hand pass Lewis. Lewis's little kick is good. He spotted Daniels and just held it back a little. Daniels has his kicking improved. That's a good effort. In towards full forward. Out comes Werner. Ball punched away. Daniels go. No, Herman intercepts. Well done by the Richmond player, but it comes to Carroll. A little slow with the hand pass and a very ticky touch for push against the Richmond player. May have been against Free. And the kick is going to Dennis Carroll. And he certainly has a chance to kick a goal from this position here.
There's a bit more goal-kicking power on that Swans forward line. Minton Connell not playing, of course, today. And you have Strooper, who kicked over 40 goals last year. Werner, who's capable of kicking goals. And also Dennis Carroll looks like he may be playing across that forward line, half-forward line this season. So 4 options there on the forward line probably this year from the Sydney Swans.
Carroll now elects to kick it long. It's going to drop into the square. No mark taken. Richmond would do well to hurry it over, which they are quite content to do so. And it's a rush behind to the Sydney Swans. So the Swans progress to 3 goals 1. Richmond 2-2. Swans lead by 5 points. That's Mark Pitura for Richmond. Lovely kick, well outside 50 metres to half back, and that's an excellent mark taken by Essler. Hand passes away. Young just slipped as he was about to get the ball away. Herman, composed, does well, played well last year for Richmond after crossing from Carlton. Lambert's in trouble, should nearly have been awarded a free kick. Through comes Francis, good play, and he kicks the ball long towards the Richmond full forward area, but dropping back and judging it a little bit better than his Richmond opponent is Mark Bayes.
Acting skipper today, Bayes kicks out towards the outer side, where Murphy takes the mark, hits the ground running, and he comes to McGovern. Off the left boot, a shocking kick. Essler gets in the way and takes another mark.
He's doing a good job, Essler, for the Tigers at the moment.
Certainly is. The kick towards centre half forward. Oh, almost a good mark there to Howard. Comes to Lambert. Naish, the only chance there for Richmond. Well done by Waters. Look at the body strength by Scott Waters. The umpire's seen the free kick here. And it's against Francis going to Waters. Stood his ground well. Kick by Waters to Carroll, who's covering some ground. Brought Young down the ground with him. Barry Young near the boundary line. Good tackle by Carroll. And the ball goes out. We'll have a throw in near centre wing.
Just over 6 minutes left in the first quarter. It's been quite an entertaining affair so far. The Swans 3-1, Richmond 2-2. Michael Werner has kicked 2 goals for the Swans. Dennis Carroll has kicked 1, and Richmond goals coming through Francis and Hogg. Lewis, kick off his right foot ineffective. Herneman going absolutely nowhere. There's Wayne Herneman there. Tacklers Dennis Carroll and McGovern. Umpire could do nothing much more than bounce it. Scott Waters and David Murphy, number 10 and 35 respectively for the Swans. Lewis up high, taken by Young, dumped by Carroll, picked up by Francis. Francis's kick in towards centre half forward, thumped away. The ball goes in towards centre half back, gathered nicely there by Naish. He's brilliantly tackled and fairly, which is good. Bayes tries to tap it to his own advantage. Eventually Waters backing up. Oh, you're gone, Considine. You're in all sorts of trouble. The tackle was good. Lees. Oh, down goes Gray underneath that crunch of players. Murphy back to Bayes. Shrugs the tackle. Kick doesn't go really in towards the goal square. Just short of that area. Taken away now for Richmond by Howard. And he just goes straight for the boundary line. And the central umpire gives the all clear. Boundary umpire will throw it in.
It's looking very strong too, Johnny Howard. Looking at him in the rooms before the game, he looked in magnificent physical condition.
Swans in attack. And a chance for them here. Brunton using good physical work. Socket out of there by the Richmond defence. Carroll has it, 40 metres out. Oh, he's just got it. Gets the hand pass away. Nettlebeck 18. Off the left boot, out wide. And out on the full. And it'll be a free kick back into play to be taken by Lambert. Craig Nettlebeck, been around at the club for quite a long while. He'd be one of the veterans there now, youngster. Big leap, but no mark. Ball close to the boundary line. And it's taken away by Francis. The kick up towards centre wing, and the mark taken by Turner, Scott Turner. 3-1 to 2-2. Swans lead by 5 points. Up towards the 50-metre line. Gets through McQueen. Up towards an unguarded goal square. Right across the face of goal. A race on. Hogg leading the race, but the ball out of bounds. Had some carry on it, that kick by McQueen.
Boundary throw in the left forward pocket for Richmond. Jackson doing the ruck work. Herman taps it back. Now punched away by the Swans. Desperate stuff in the last line of defence. It's big redhead Gavin Rose has come onto the ground and has picked up Stevan Jackson. So the Swans just a little concerned back there, I guess. Ruck contest. Turner doing it for Richmond. Some strong tackling. Herman trying to just attract the player towards him. Kick in goes by Maxfield into the square. No mark taken at the back. It goes over for a rush behind to Richmond. So the Tigers just ever so slowly forcing the ball forward. They're 2-3, trail Sydney 3-1.
John Northey in disguise.
Underneath the hat, the sunglasses.
Mark Bayes, a beautiful kick of the ball. Gee, that's a shocker. Every time you say it, that's what they do to you. It's taken by Campbell. Campbell bangs it back for a goal. What a shocker by Bayes.
Yes, well, normally he is a magnificent kick from full-back. Well, on that occasion, Mark Bayes really didn't get any distance whatsoever. He carried about 40 metres right into the arms of Wayne Campbell, and he made no mistake. He gathered the ball very cleanly and put it right through the middle.
Good contest here. Richmond by 2 points, 3.5 minutes to go to quarter time in the round 1 game of the Foster's Cup. This time John gets clean possession out of the middle. Maxfield pulled off his kick by Daniels. Daniels goes back in after it. The hand pass comes out wide from Herneman. Here's Young. Might have held it in the tackle. Comes to Lewis. The tackling is fierce. By gee, this is February, not September. Maxfield. Good kick on the turn up, short of the 50. Over Considine it goes. Blind hand pass. He was lucky McGovern was there. He delivers a bad one. Lambert comes back to Herneman. He straightens towards goal. Chance for Hogg. Good football by Richmond.
The endeavour actually is terrific from both sides at the moment, but Sydney across half-back, a couple of bad mistakes with handball. And that's let Richmond in for a couple of goals, and now a chance for Jeff Hogg to kick Richmond's 4th goal.
Actually, I thought Considine did reasonably well, but then McGovern's hand pass was, well, very ordinary.
Hogg from 40 metres. Needs the breeze to get that. Misses to the left. 1 goal 1 for Jeff Hogg.
Well, you'd have to say that the advantage is with Richmond at this stage, because they look as though they're kicking into that breeze, don't they?
Definitely standing on the boundary line before the game, Robbo. The breeze was favouring the end to which Sydney Swans are kicking in this first quarter.
Well, Mark Bayes still has the thought in his mind of his previous kick-in. No mistake with this one. It's a beautiful kick, and he's just pinpointed it. That should be 50 metres.
Will be 50, no doubt. That's where discipline comes into this game. It's so very important, and that free kick they're going against the Richmond player in Stuart Maxfield.
I'll tell you what, Lewison nearly kicked this.
He is a very good kick, Dale Lewis. A little bit of breeze at his back.
He just slews off the side of his boot, and it's thumped away. It's still right up in that full forward line for the Swans, but it's tapped over the boundary line there by Tony Free. And he looks pretty fit, Tony Free.
On both sides, Robbo. They looked in great shape down in the rooms before the game.
And they're to be complimented. Waters tries to get the hand pass out. The kick.
Cresswell
came from Cresswell. And he's kicked a very good goal. It may have, they've got Waters on the screen there, but I think it was Cresswell.
Yeah, definitely Cresswell. No doubt, Robbo. It was a very good snapshot. A big pack of players. The player getting the hand pass out was Waters. And under intense pressure there, the Sydney Swans working hard to keep the ball in their forward line. Scotty Waters, I think, will add a lot to this Sydney Swans side. He's a real little goer. Gets down at the bottom of the pack and fed that hand pass out.
Under 2 minutes to go to quarter time, and a new leader again. The Sydney Swans now in front. The ruckmen crash into each other again. Whipped out of Lewis's hands. Comes to Murphy. Kicked by Murphy to the 50. There's Waters down there. Frees his man. Tony Free looks for the boundary line and finds it.
Probably not a bad idea either, Tony Free, at this stage of the game. Of course, time on added when the ball goes over the boundary line in this Foster's Cup competition.
Here's Kapler. Haven't seen much of him yet. Waters again, and he's been a good player. There's Campbell. What a terrific hand pass to Maxfield. His left footer looking for Hogg. He props, nearly takes the mark. Rose, he was held when he didn't have it, and the free kick will go to Gavin Rose. Ex-East Perth player who played 10 games last year for the Swans.
Nice kick by Rose over the centre of the ground. Battle for possession, taken by Esler. His kick goes back towards centre-half forward, tapped on by Jackson, picked off by Considine. Away there to Brunton. Brunton's hand pass goes wider still to Gray. Gray's kick to centre-half forward, and a free kick is going back there for Richmond, and it'll be taken by Young. Young's kick in towards centre-half forward. Mark is taken, and it's a good one. Taken there by McQueen, and he plays on quickly. That's the secret, going into the breeze. Oh, that should be a free kick, surely.
There's no doubt. One thing about Jeff Hogg, he leads all day. He never stops waiting in the goal square for the ball to be delivered to him. He's forcing the players further upfield to kick the ball to him on those long searching leads. And Bayes was completely caught out there. Actually, probably Hogg had no chance of taking that mark. It was too high for him.
That's right. If he keeps that up, he'll kick 10 goals without taking a mark.
And won't there be some Richmond supporters happy about the fact that John Northey wants to play him at full forward?
Oh, delighted. Hogg's kick for goal is through. So he gets his second goal on the tick of quarter time here at Lavington. And I think maybe it was a clause in John Northey's contract. You must play the boy at full forward to take the job.
It's terrific seeing him there, Drew. All jokes aside, because Jeff Hogg, he's kicked nearly 250 goals in AFL football.
Don't forget Kevin Bartlett might be watching this telecast.
Well, Alan Jeans also played him at fullback at times. I think they would have liked 2 Jeff Hoggs in the side.
4 seconds remaining to quarter time, so hardly any time for a score. High kick by Lewis, and the siren sounds for quarter time here at Lavington. And what a high standard, entertaining game. Been about 4 or 5 changes at the lead, and the Tigers have it 4-4-28 to the Sydney Swans 4-1-25. Dennis Carroll kicked a goal. Let's have a look at the man who's been skipper for 7 years. Lost the captaincy this year. Well, they're about to beat us with a ball up. So the start of the second quarter here, and Richmond by 3 points. Knocked out of there by Essler, but it's all the Swans here. Trouble for you, Considine. He loses at the tackle. Grabbed by Campbell. Campbell's kick straight to full forward. 2 against 2. Jackson at the back, but it's punched away from him by Bayes, and the ball through for a minor score.
Essler, I'm very impressed with him. He got that ball forward out of the centre bounce once again. Gary Buckenara in the crowd there. So let's hope he can stand up for the majority of the season. Big Ty Essler. The kick in, pretty good. And it's picked off there by McRae. His kick good to Daniels. Hand pass okay to Lewis. Lewis off the right foot, in towards centre half forward. Punched away. Lambert is in the action. So is Lees. Lees sweeping hand pass. Comes wider still. Chance for Herneman. Now Campbell. Free for Richmond. Nice kick. Centre half forward. Hogg. Oh, that could have been nearly deemed as a throw. Did the umpire see it? He did. He was on the blind side, but he was able to see Jeff Hogg with the one-handed hand pass. So the Swans will get out of trouble. The kick comes from Gray, and the mark is taken for the Swans on centre wing by Strooper. Waters making position, but Strooper kicks it high. Up in the direction of John. Punched away. Here's Young for Richmond. Backs himself. And creatively gets the hand pass to Francis. He's aggressive. Goes towards goal. And that pass is okay. The mark is taken by Jackson. And an excellent build-up by the Tigers.
Yes, they're looking pretty good so far, Richmond. The score is very close, but I think Richmond would be very happy with that first quarter, kicking into that slight breeze. 2 very good players on the forward line to aim for, Stevan Jackson and Jeff Hogg. He'll be kicking from just about the 50-metre mark, Stevan Jackson, maybe just outside.
Kick by Jackson, away to the left. No, it's a beautiful kick. Well, he judged that breeze beautifully and brought it back on the breeze. So a 10-point lead to the Tigers, 5-5 to 4-1.
Both sides playing with a lot of determination, but I think the ball handling of Richmond at this stage of the season probably a little bit better than the Sydney Swans. They haven't had any practice matches, Sydney, against any real opposition. They've only played amongst themselves. And of course, being in Sydney is a little bit of a problem as far as arranging practice matches goes. Their fitness is very good. There's some good recruits in this side. And just have to get their ball handling right.
Once again, it's John and Essler. Comes down to Lambert. He delivers another good hand pass. Francis has been impressive. The kick is low to full forward. Hogg's there. Jackson as well. It's socket away from them out of bounds, just on the bounce. That makes it tough for a boundary umpire who hardly had time to get there. This ball's moving around pretty quickly, isn't it?
My word. Boundary throw in just inside the 50-metre line for Richmond. Up high was Jackson. Ball rebounds to Campbell. Does a good job trying to keep the ball in play, but the breeze catches it and carries it over on the full. So the free kick to be taken back there by Bayes. Francis. I was just having a look at, as we see Gary Buckenara, Matthew Francis was recruited from Balan, and he's now played 15 games. So a little bit of confidence there for that young fellow, and he's doing pretty well playing across the centre line this afternoon for Richmond. There he is there in the picture.
Richmond doing well with their tags at the moment, Robbo. We've got Brian Lees picking up Darren Kapler, who's been very quiet, and John Howard playing on the former Fitzroy player in David Strooper, who's been very quiet.
Lewis gets the ball out of half-back, but good mark taken by Essler on centre wing, and the big ruckman got back very quickly.
He's kicked to centre half forward. Here's Kapler in the front of the pack. Delivers the hand pass through to Daniels, whose disposal has always been his problem. This time doesn't even collect the ball. He goes to ground. Out of the middle from McGovern, up towards half forward. Strooper a chance, 15. Essler at ground level. Young. He was happy to see. Oh, Murphy copped one there and is out.
Yes, he copped a very nasty one there, David Murphy, a very courageous player for the Sydney Swans, in a terrible position. He was really lined up there by the Richmond player.
Neither ruckman this time. Bit of a mess up there. Comes back to the boundary line where Murphy's receiving treatment. Gee, they're going in hard. Here's a free kick.
He's okay, Murphy. He's pushed the trainers away.
Good on him. Well done. Courageous little bloke. So this could develop a bit.
Another Swans player in trouble. I think it's Lewis down.
Now here's Brunton for the Swans. Goes to ground. They force a ball up, and maybe a ball up to use up a bit of time, might just quieten things down a bit. Here's Dale Lewis. There's not much to him. I know they've bulked up a lot, but he always looks very slimly built.
Bounce of the ball at right half forward for Richmond. Swans under a little bit of pressure. They need to kick the next goal. Ball comes out towards Lewis. Good desperate stuff shown there by Turner, and he goes in after it again. The tackle, well, the umpire indicating that he may have been held by the leg in that pack of players. So Scott Turner will kick the ball in towards full forward, but quite a simple mark taken by Considine. He gets the ball away to Bayes. Bayes' kick is astray, and Turner takes the mark for Richmond, forward of centre wing.
He's looking for a short pass there, Robbo, but there wasn't a Sydney player inside.
Hand pass away to Lees. Lees kick towards full forward. No mark taken. Ball at the back. Chance for Herneman. Hand pass into the square. Attempted kick coming from McQueen when the ball was in mid-air, but not quite successful, and through for one behind to Richmond. So the Tigers on the scoreboard lead by 11 points, 5-6 to 4-1, and Bayes to kick it in for the Swans.
Herneman, number 11 for Richmond's done some good things. Played in the grand final in Perth last year for South Fremantle. Just a 20-year-old. Considine takes the mark, dishes off the hand pass to a running Daniels. Once again, that kick tumbles end on end, goes up the half forward. Is it a free kick to Werner?
Down the ground, Daniels dumped after he kicked the football.
Against Maxfield.
So Michael Werner will take the free. One of 3 Essendon players that come to the Swans this year, along with Considine and Ambrose. It's Richard Ambrose, not Kirtley. Michael Werner, 60 metres from goal. And some kick to the edge of the goal square. Running out of defence, Howard. Free. Close to the boundary line. Naish lost sight of it, and the ball out of play.
All Richmond in defence there. They needed the crummers around the goal face, Sydney, at that stage, and there was no one to be found. Sydney had no trouble, did they, running it out of defence?
Well, I was thinking exactly the same thing, Bernie, and Gary Buckenara would have been quite concerned about that, I think. There's a good mark taken by Mark Pitura out in front of Werner. Nice kick too. Oh, high flyer. Francis couldn't quite control it. Would have been a spectacular mark if it had come off. Chance there for the Swans. They force the ball towards centre half forward. Howard's hand pass to no one in particular. Kick off the ground came from Young. Chance now for McRae. Can he break the tackle? No. It was a good one, effective there by Richmond. Brilliant little blind turn by Naish. Gets it away to Essler. Essler's spotted a player wider. It's Campbell. Campbell in support Lees. Lees goes for goal. The kick might have the carry. No, it's a good mark and a goal square to Jackson. Just a little nudge out, and that was very good football by the Tigers.
Playing with a lot of enthusiasm at the moment, Richmond. Stevan Jackson in the ideal position to take that mark. Trapped behind. The player in front really had no chance of getting back into the contest, Gavin Rose.
He's kicked the goal. So Jackson has kicked his second goal. Richmond have kicked their 6. Tigers are 6-6. Swans are 4-1.
Yes, handling the ball much better at the moment, Richmond. Getting the ball out of defence, running it well. The hand passing has been much more sure than the Sydney Swans. And really around the goal face, they do need the little players there to do the crumbing when the ball does get into attack for Sydney.
And now a 17-point lead to the Tigers. Swans haven't scored yet in this quarter. Again, a mess up in the middle. McQueen, still there, McQueen. Essler gets the hand pass away. Lambert, Maxfield. Haven't cleared it yet. Eventually, the kick comes from out of the middle. Cresswell up towards half forward. But the mark is taken down there by Bullis. Losing ground in possession. Free overruns it. Murphy's recovered from a heavy knock. Cresswell across the ground. Bit of space for Strooper. But no gain in territory. Strooper, 15-metre hand pass to Werner. He has to dodge Maxfield. Can't. Good tackle by Maxfield. He did pretty well there. Another chance. Strooper hooks it up in front of goals. Two Richmond players up against each other. Chance for Cresswell. Kick smothered. He's buried. Look at the endeavour of these teams. First round game, Foster's Cup. Essler doing a top job. Brunton gets a hand pass through for the Swans. In there is Carroll. He tries to feed the ball out. Werner delays the hand pass. Brunton buried. Great tackling. Oh, Essler.
You've got to be impressed with that, Drew. It was just gang tackling for about a minute there by Richmond. And look, they're after the Swans again, and the ball back near the centre of the ground. Murphy, kick across half forward, goes very wide. Werner leads in the race, gathers it nicely from 50 metres. Kicks it across his body, high, into the pocket. Strooper can't quite take the mark, goes after it again, but can't control it, so we'll have a boundary thrown in the right forward pocket for the Swans, and they desperately need a goal.
Yes, great endeavour by both sides, but the tackling by the Tigers in defence has really been outstanding. Of course, a fair bit at stake. The winner here today, $11,000. They're assured of $19,250 even if they lose the second round.
Richmond forced the ball up towards left half forward. Punched away there by Troy Gray from McQueen. And we'll have a boundary throw in that left half forward flank position for Richmond. Just over 11 minutes left. The crowd here at the Lavington Sports Ground being very much entertained by these two sides. Presently, Richmond lead by 17 points. Chance here for Maxfield. His kick goes along the boundary line. Chance again for the Tigers. Hogg overruns it. Taken over by Bays. Boundary throw will take place about 35 metres around from the Richmond goal.
This comes down to McQueen, out in front of goal. Rose just gets the hand pass to Considine. Now they're out of trouble. Mark Bays delivers the ball much better this time to Carroll. Carroll just out of half-back. Bays has double passed to get it back. The kick by Bays to half-forward. Strooper, it's yours. It's punched down by Bullis. Dive by Rose, unsuccessful. Chance for the Tigers. Naish across to Lambert. Long kick, offline. And through for a behind, off the boot of Craig Lambert.
Well, they're a bit stiff there. That build-up was pretty good again. Their half-back line is standing up as Gareth John comes off the ground and he's replaced by Gary Stevens. So that's the long and the short of it. Big ruckman coming off the ground, replaced by a nuggety little defender. Oh, this kick in, going straight towards Francis. and he's going to be awarded a free kick anyway. So Francis has the football for Richmond, about 55 metres out. Pass is pretty good. The lead was excellent. And Swans' defence giving Jeff Hogg just a little bit too much space there, Bernie.
Well, there's a few headaches at the moment for Gary Buchanara. You can see Ty Esler probably doing better in the ruck. Has had Gareth John removed from the ground. It appears at this stage as if Gavin Rose has now taken over that position, maybe a little bit more mobility around that area of the ground. He was being cut up by Stevan Jackson when he was playing in the back pocket. But you'd have to be very impressed by the Tigers so far. Jeff Hogg from about 35, 40 metres out.
And the kick is good. So Hogg gets his third goal. Jackson has kicked two. 2 goals to Michael Werner for the Swans. But more importantly for Tiger fans, here and watching, the Tigers now lead by 4 goals.
Well, their fitness and their tackling, 2 areas that have really impressed me today. And that's an area that they're just starting to get used to. The real hard training in AFL football, they probably haven't been used to it until the last 2 years.
In this quarter, Richmond have added 3-3 to nothing. Swans haven't scored into this light breeze. Hacked out of the air. Francis again doing well. Maxfield with Daniels. Maxfield breaks away. Considine back there for the Swans. Delays the hand pass. Hangs onto it and thumps it back to the centre circle. Oh, Carroll should take a free and will. Against Barry Young. Dennis Carroll lost the captaincy after 7 years at the helm. McRae's been moved from the back line up forward. Stevens is ridden into the ground and will take a free kick. Goes on quickly and goes for goal, but the breeze gets hold of it and takes it right. And it's a behind. Stevens just on the ground. Gary Stevens, who's Anthony Stevens' brother, North Melbourne player.
Francis was lucky in that passage of play, Drew. An accidental kick by David Murphy, just catching him around the ear. He had a quick look to see who it came from, but I'm sure for David Murphy's character, it would have just been accidental. Pitura for Richmond to kick in, and it's a nice kick by Mark Pitura. Out towards half-back. Bullis couldn't break clear. Neither could Howard. Kick off the ground by McRae. Swans have got the numbers. They need to handle this footy good. Kick by Cresswell. In towards full forward. Kicked away by Pitura. Back towards centre-half back, and the mark is taken there for Richmond by Young. He plays on. Gets it to Bullis. Bullis, a rough, tough-looking customer, kicks the ball towards half-forward. Good mark. Excellent mark taken by McQueen over the top of Gray.
And another change for the Sydney Swans. Angove on and David Murphy off. That's one of the problem areas for the Swans at the moment, across the centre line, with Campbell doing well and also Francis doing well on his wing. Maxfield very busy also.
Now McQueen would be a real chance to score from here. He's going to be kicking from just inside 50 metres. Gets a little too close to the man on the mark. Swans defence now under pressure. Kapler goes for the boundary line, and a boundary throw-in will take place. 7 3/4 minutes left in the second quarter. Richmond lead 7-7 to 4-2.
Another chance for the Tigers here. There's McRae. Can't find the boundary line. Yes, he does. Did pretty well to get it through so many players. But it's back out on the 50. So a bit of breathing space now for the Swans. 7.5 minutes to go to half-time. Rose and Turner. Considine. High ball, short of the centre. Esler works to the front. Strooper does well to spoil. Delivers the hand pass out to Angove. Stevens is caught by Free. Lee's up there for Richmond. Strooper, good tackle. The ball's still there. The umpire says he had no chance of getting it out and will ball it up.
Do you think, Bernie, that a player like Strooper then, he probably knew he was going to be tackled? He should have kicked it off the ground, don't you think?
He was down low taking possession, Robbo. He may not have really had the opportunity to do so, but it was a good tackle in the end because the player was down low and he every opportunity of probably tackling him a bit too high.
Bullis out to Naish. Tapped away here by McGovern to Watters. Watters kicked to centre half forward. Werner trying to get rid of his opponent, does so. Beats one, takes a high tackle, beats another. Well played, Michael Werner. The hand pass goes out wide. Daniels comes backwards. Considine, unusual role for him. He kicks a goal. Well, the two Essendon players combined there again, and Werner did brilliantly, and Considine got the points.
He's not known for his goal-kicking ability, Ed Considine. He's only kicked 12 goals in his career at Essendon in 49 games. So, of course, he is known as a backline player, played principally across half-back, centre half-back or half-back flank.
Well, to say that that was a badly needed goal would be the understatement of the day so far. But what a top effort there by Michael Werner. Nearly single-handedly getting the ball to Daniels, who eventually got it to Considine, and the Swans got their 5th goal. Richmond go forward. Essler's kick. Oh, too easy, that mark. And that could have nearly been a penalty too. Took the mark and the ball was knocked out of his hands. But it is McQueen. Player there is Gray. And we'll have another look here.
Just a little bit of a nudge out there from McQueen on the Sydney Swans player in Troy Gray. As Richmond make a change, coming onto the field for Richmond is Nathan Bauer.
And McQueen's kick is a goal. No, it's not. He's missed to the right-hand side.
Scott Turner off the ground, Robbo, in that instance, an interchange. First change for Richmond for the day.
7-8 plays 5-2. 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Swans are going to make another change here. Looks like Gray may be coming off for Luff. Kick in by Bays is very effective in towards the centre of the ground. Taken away by Herman. Sweeping hand pass. Opportunity for McRae to defend for the Swans. Goes out towards the wing. Good gather. Very, very good gather by Daniels. On the run. His kick in towards full forward. Excellent effort there by Werner. Couldn't quite take the mark. He's in trouble, Michael Werner. The ball at right half forward. Cresswell tries to get it back to Daniels as Werner sits in the foreground.
I think he got a shin to the face. Watch this.
Yes, he's met very hard there, Werner. Unfortunately, he was down low trying to take that mark, and John Howard came across him.
Richmond out of defence. Touched off the boot. Awkward ball, centre of the ground. It's Considine who kicked the last goal for the Swans, and their only goal for the quarter, and gets a free kick.
He's played a good last 5 or 6 minutes, Ed Considine.
His kick up towards the 50, inside 50. Mark should have been taken by Essler, but wasn't. Might give the Swans a chance, but Richmond work out. Naish, short of half forward. Good gather by McQueen, great hands. And what a hand pass, terrific stuff. Bremen through the centre, on the ground.
Bauer, I think it was.
Bauer just on the ground, and the ball out on the 50 at half forward.
I don't blame you for mixing them up. Both blondes, both can run, both can kick.
Boundary throw in, Richmond in attack again. Hurried kick by Campbell. Hogg gets the good bounce. Jeff Hogg strolls to goal. That's his 4th. 8-8 to 5-2.
Yes, the Tigers doing it well. They really set this up in that first quarter, kicking into the slight breeze when they held the Sydney Swans. And Jeff Hogg's been good at full forward with 4 goals. Another player in the forward pocket, Stevan Jackson's kicked 2. They've contributed 6 of the 8 goals that the Tigers have kicked for the day, but they really have shown something today, Tigers. A lot of endeavour.
I hope those footies are being recovered. They're being replaced by the emergency umpire at an unbelievable rate. The ball's going down to that right-hand end, disappearing over the fence. Swans, Stevens, Lewis, handball good. Kapler, Ango from 50 metres. Gets onto his right foot and kicks it into the goal square. Oh, good effort again by Werner, but it's hurried through in the finish by Pitura for a rush behind to the Swans. So 8-8 plays 5-3, and Gary Buckenara just looking a little concerned. 3 3/4 minutes left in the second quarter. Ball taken by Daniels, and he kicks it back near the goal square. Oh, good effort. Very good effort by Howard. That was a difficult mark to take, and he plays on. Gets the hand pass away. Free. kicks it out towards the wing. Oh, high leap. There was by Campbell, maybe Herneman. Lambert now. Lambert's kick. Oh, excellent mark.
Has he
Taken
had a
by
corner?
McQueen.
Is it Steve McQueen, isn't it? He's got up as high as Steve McQueen ever got on a motorbike over the fence.
He's had a great quarter. In fact, he's kicked 2 behinds for the term. He could have done anything, really. He's had a couple of opportunities from inside the 50-metre line, and this is his 3rd chance at goal. He has kicked 2 behinds, as I said. But McQueen, he showed a lot of promise early. He wasn't all that fit in one season. He looked as if he may go back to Hobart. But today he's been magnificent.
23 games now to Mark McQueen. So players getting to that stage is just starting to feel a little bit more confident with themselves. And a lovely kick is a goal. So McQueen's first goal is Richmond's 9th, and they open the gap just once again.
It's been a great quarter by the Tigers. As I said, they really look fit this year under the coaching of John Northey, a former Richmond Premiership player in 1967 and 1969.
Two and a half minutes to half-time and a 29-point lead to the Tigers. Lambert out of the middle, goes backwards. Here's a chance. Howard off the left boot to full forward. Hogg, punch away by Bays, but hasn't cleared the area. Tigers everywhere. McQueen.
No, it's a free kick, I think, to the Swans, and now it's a 50-metre penalty.
Bad luck for McQueen, not his fault. He did kick the goal, but the ball comes right up to the centre of the ground. Stevan Jackson not looking too good.
That's always going to be a problem for the teams battling in the middle and down a bit, is their depth. And when players like, say, Jackson, Hogg, Essler is a big player, Lambert, they certainly need them to stay on their feet for the majority of the season.
Looks like he has problems with that right shoulder. Stevan Jackson in a fair bit of trouble at the moment too.
So Dean McRae to take the free kick up the centre of the ground. Swans desperately need another goal before half-time. We've got a chance here. Strooper marks on the 50. Former teammate of Bernie's at Fitzroy. Has he been around that long?
I don't think I played football with Strooper.
Didn't you?
But, he had a very good season last year, kicking over 40 goals for the year.
Kicked just a little bit short, didn't quite have the distance, and Essler has been an excellent big man. And free, he's not averse to having a bit of a box on. Wants to have a bit of a go. Free and Stevens. The kick outside 50. McRae can't take it at the second grab. Here's Waters. Started well, haven't seen so much of him in the second quarter.
Some comments coming from the fans down in front here. Just missed him, and it was Angove on Herneman. Essler, Rose in front. Ball for Herman, can't get clear. Angove, Rose gets a left foot to the ball. Kicks it up near the 50-metre line. Tony Free will allow the ball to trundle over for a throw-in about 55 to 60 metres from the Swans' goal. They trail 5-3. Richmond are 9-8. Just over a minute left in the second quarter. Essler, who's done a very good job. Trying to break clear was Howard. Bullis. Bullis goes after it again. Kicked off the ground there by Howard. Close to the line. Lees goes over with the football. And the boundary throw-in will take place back near that left half forward area for the Swans.
John Howard's done all right. He was taken 97th in last November's draft. John Northey had him at Melbourne. Knew something about him.
Fair enough. He's always showed a bit of promise. I just felt, when you said, Bernie, that he looked strong and fit, I just thought at one stage in his career about 2 or 3 years ago that he bulked up a little bit too much and lost that agility that is so necessary to play AFL footy.
Yes, that may have been the case, Robbo, but just looking at him today, he looked in terrific condition.
Ball right on the 50-metre line for the Swans. Pitura desperate to hold the football in for the Tigers, and he succeeds in doing so. A player picking himself up at the finish there is Nathan Bauer, number 22 for Richmond. Kapler, number 11 there for the Swans. High over the top was Luff. Ball coming out towards Kapler. Little hand pass. Stevens goes for goal. Kick goes off the side of his boot. It's into towards the forward pocket area. It's out on the full. The free kick really is for Richmond, but the siren sounds, so the first half is over in the first Foster's Cup match for 1993. And at half-time, Richmond lead 9-8-62. The Swans 5-3-33. And the Swans match committee, they're Kevin Egan behind Gary Buckenara. And they've got some thinking to do in the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Yes, and Stevan Jackson certainly has a problem there with that right shoulder. He received treatment in the latter stages of that quarter, and let's hope we see him come back for the second half. Let's hope his season hasn't been ruined in the first game of the year. Warm conditions here at Lavington, but a good game of football. Richmond putting on a good show. 9-8-62, Sydney Swans 5-3-33. Jeff Hogg has 4 goals, and Stevan Jackson, even though he's injured late in that quarter, has 2. And for the Sydney Swans, leading goal scorer is Michael Werner, who has 2 goals. And there's Jackson in the dressing room getting treatment for that injured right shoulder. He got in about the last 5 minutes of the second quarter. Let's have a look at the draw in this half of the competition in the Foster's Cup. We see down the bottom today's game, Richmond and Sydney. And the unenviable task for the winner is then to face Hawthorn, win 104,500. And that's a lot of 20-cent coins through poker machines, 104,000, so very handy at this stage. John Northey would be pleased with his charges, taking over Richmond this year, coming back to the team, of course, he played for and played in 2 premierships. Let's take a look at the latest betting in the Foster's Cup at 100s to 50s, but Sydney and Brisbane still at 100 to 1. We'll have a special guest here at the Lavington Oval after a break, as we leave you for the time being with scenes from the Richmond dressing room. Welcome back to Lavington for the second half of this first round Foster's Cup game between Richmond and the Sydney Swans. And the Tigers leading at half-time by 29 points. An excellent second quarter with the breeze. We get underway again. John's back on the ground. Lewis delivers a little hand pass over the top to Waters. The ball bounces right to full forward. Werner palms the ball out, but Pitura charges straight at it. Does well, gets rid of it in a hurry. And well done too by Daniels. Used the palm of his hands to steady that ball. Campbell. Back he goes to Bauer. Up to centre wing. Naish. And he's taken over by McGovern, and we'll have a boundary throw in at centre wing. And a very early change. Angove coming on for Daniels. Daniels lasted about 30 seconds in that quarter.
John doing the ruck work. Taken away by Herneman. In turn to Campbell, then Maxfield. Maxfield kicks the ball. And it may come back to Maxfield to take the free kick.
Was tackled pretty severely there by Angove.
Once upon a time, the kick was taken down the ground. When the kicking is being done and the tackler interferes with the player, the kick goes down the ground. I
think as he was kicking, he was tackled pretty severely there, Robert. The umpire judging on that occasion.
It was a good mark, an excellent mark taken by McQueen. So Richmond may open this third quarter with the first score.
He's been great, hasn't he? There's that mark again. He took several of those in that second quarter. He kicked 1 goal for the term, 1 goal 2. He could have easily have kicked 3 goals. They weren't hard shots.
Strong looking Colt too. McQueen. And the kick drops short and Jackson takes the mark.
And 3 Sydney players stood around watching there as the 2 Richmond players attempted to take that mark. Jackson with that shoulder heavily bandaged after injuring it in that second term. But very poor defensive work there by the Swans.
Difficult angle for Jackson. He's kicked 2 goals. Very, very close to the boundary line in that right forward pocket. He goes for the reverse punt kick and does it nicely. So Stevan Jackson kicks his 3rd goal, and more importantly, Richmond get the first goal of the second half. They're 10-8, Sydney are 5-3.
It was a very good contest up until quarter time. In that second quarter, Richmond really went on with the job, and they've started that way at the beginning of this 3rd quarter. 3 very good forwards. McQueen starting to dominate across half forward, and 2 strong marking players in the full forward line, Jackson and Hogg.
Back in the centre we go. They charge in from the edge of the square to congest the area. Angove takes it, was pushed, and wins a free kick. Kick by Angove in the direction of Stevens with Free. Stroopers at the back. Free gets back there. Tony Free. Oh, takes a high tackle from Stevens. It is a free kick.
The umpire just having a couple of words to Stevens. Pretty undisciplined play that. Here we see it again in replay. Really very little attempt to put on a legitimate tackle.
Esler was going to be given the free kick. Advantage played to Lees. His kick up towards half forward. A half volley for Hogg. He's just outside 50 now. He gets support. Herman off the left boot to the goal square. Jackson! Gee, they've got a mighty marking forward line.
Well, Jackson's been too good for all his opponents today. He really outmarked Gavin Rose earlier until he went into the ruck. His opponent now, Nettlebeck, who started on the forward line. And with those 2 players in that full forward line, Jackson and Hogg, really Buckenara has got plenty of problems.
Real trio down there with Hogg, Jackson and McQueen. And here's Stevan Jackson. Kicking truly, 4 goals. Well, they're going into the breeze in this quarter, and they've hurried on 2 goals quickly, both from Jackson at the start of the term.
Here's this in replay again. Jeff Hogg again on that long lead. A very quick hand pass to the running Herman. And superb positioning of the body there by Stevan Jackson in front of Nettlebeck, or behind Nettlebeck on that occasion, just nudging him out. And he does that so very well, judging the ball well and taking that mark.
Richmond 11-8, Sydney 5-3. The Tigers have been able to kick 6 goals to that left-hand end, and the Swans in the second term were only able to kick 1. They go forward again, Richmond. At this time, a free kick has been picked out of a jostling contest between Francis and Considine, and the kick will go to the Swans player, Ed Considine. He's at centre-half back. Kicks it directly towards goal, but chipping in to take the mark is Bullis. Handballs it further. On the end of that chain of hand passes is Bauer. Bauer's kick towards half forward. Francis a little too high for that player. Through comes Cresswell, away to Waters. Waters kick close to the boundary line. Punched away by Bauer. Francis has a chance and finds a path through there very nicely. Back to McQueen, back to Bauer. In towards centre-half forward, where a good mark has been taken for the Swans by Dean McRae. McRae's short kick in towards the centre of the ground. Considine, handball, further forward. Chance now for the Swans. The kick coming from Baldwin. Werner, deep in their forward line. Luff, shot for goal by Troy Luff is offline and through for 1 behind. The Swans have had their problems, and they trail by 40 points, 11-8 to 5-4.
Rose has just replaced Nettlebeck, so the interchange has been used twice by Gary Buckenara already in this quarter. Squads of 22, 4 on the bench in the Foster's Cup. In trouble, Young, away to Howard. Kick by Howard up towards centre wing. Punch by Kapler. Ball out of play right in front of us here at the commentary position.
And nice. Drew Considine's been moved back to pick up Stevan Jackson, so that's his third opponent for the afternoon.
Essler and John. Essler had John taken off in the second quarter. Herneman, the ex-South Fremantle player, high inside half forward. McQueen. McRae got a hand of that ball. Oh, beautiful. The hand pass comes out to Maxfield, and it was delivered by Francis, but the kick by Maxfield disappointing for a behind.
It's amazing how much players grow in stature when the flow of the players going with you.
It sure helps, doesn't it?
Well, they've got McQueen and Maxfield and Francis. Herneman starting to come into it.
They've done very well across the centre line too, Richmond. Maxfield and Francis on that other wing. They've really dominated play.
And the Swans, on the other hand, have just struggled, haven't they? They've been very stop-start. There's a kick by McRae. Strooper. Little kick by Strooper's pretty good. Lead was excellent by Werner, and the little left foot kick there by Strooper was very, very good. Werner has taken the mark about 35 metres out on a slight angle. Michael Werner has kicked 2 goals, and he was instrumental in another one where his single-handed effort in that second quarter was the only goal the Swans kicked in the second quarter. It was a very good one. So Michael Werner, only his 5th kick coming up. Shot for goal, straight through the centre. Werner kicks his 3rd goal, and the Swans get their 6th. Richmond 11-9, lead the Swans 6-4.
As Richmond make a change, the big fellow Ty Esler off, and the player from Sturt, recruited from Sturt, picked up in the national draft, Robert Schaefer, only a young player. He's around about 6'7", very lightly framed, but he's come on to have his first stint of AFL football.
And this is Schaefer facing up against John for this centre bounce. John wins it, but straight down to Herman of Richmond. Tigers into attack. And once again, it's Francis feeding off to Maxfield. 2 against 2. Hogg and Jackson both there for the Tigers. Jackson a one-hander. Well, he just held off Considine with one hand and took it with the other.
There's great strength shown there by Steve Jackson. He had a terrific afternoon. 4 goals, 2 coming in the second term. 2 very early in his third quarter. And along with Jeff Hogg, who's also kicked 4 goals, who've been very potent in attack.
He's kicked 4 goals, 2 in this quarter. Having a purple patch in this third term. Stevan Jackson. That's 5. Well, looked as though late in the second quarter we mightn't see him playing the second half, but I don't know what they've given him, but it's worked.
We'll just have a look at this in replay. The Richmond players getting in front all the time. I'm very impressed with number 27 for the Tigers, Maxfield. A very competitive player. And there we see the strength of Stevan Jackson holding Ed Considine out with one hand and taking it in the other.
Well, 5 goals is a good return for his efforts. Jeff Hogg, the other key man in the Richmond forward line, has kicked 4. 41 points now, the advantage for Richmond. And they go forward once again. Herman kicking the ball up towards Hogg. Francis gets his foot to the ball, high, no mark. In goes McQueen. Considine back there. May go for the safety of the boundary line. No. Top effort by Campbell. The mark is taken by Francis.
It's been great play by the Tigers. They've been very competitive, throwing their bodies in, getting in front.
Swans would have been better to rush it behind then, wouldn't they?
I think Considine looked as though he was going for the boundary line, but now Francis a chance to kick another goal for Richmond. And it goes across the face of goal and out of bounds on the full in the opposite forward pocket, so the free kick to be taken by Considine.
Well, they did well not to rush it behind. They're a point in front. He's missed.
What about that spring in the centre bounce there by the young fellow there in Schaefer? He jumped all over Gareth John too at that centre bounce.
Well, Considine will kick it back into play for the Sydney Swans, and he gets good distance out towards the wing. At the back, in lots of trouble there was Bullis. Lambert striving to push the ball forward. Now it's Campbell. Campbell, who was a prolific ball getter last year for the Richmond side. Considine, handball away. Rose, then Lewis. Lewis is in the centre of the ground. and he kicks it long and directly towards goal. Oh, being held there was Werner. I know it was only ever so slight, but certainly being held by the jumper. Werner tries to get the ball back to Carroll. Carroll in turn to Stevens. Stevens handball, Werner, then Carroll. Carroll snapshot for goal, goes across the face. Richmond a chance here to defend successfully. Schaefer couldn't control the football. Kapler kicks it up and kicks it behind. Maybe if I said he picked it up and kicked it behind, you'd understand what I was talking about. 12-9 plays 6-5.
I got you. Mark Pitura, 18-year-old from Turvey Park, with a famous father. Played for both of these clubs. He kicks in. There's Schaefer again, 24 with a big leap, but he can't mark. Little hand pass is good. Naish to Maxfield. Naish is going to win it back. Now it's taken by Herneman, who's rushed over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in. Well, Richmond giving a great display. Tigers did beat the Swans in the last round of the competition last year to avoid the wooden spoon and relegate the Swans to that position. Here go the Tigers again. On the run is Herneman, who covered ground from that boundary throw in, out in front of Jackson. Considine climbs into him, gives away the free. Jackson goes on with it and kicks his fourth for the quarter. Well, if Stevan Jackson can give Richmond some goal-kicking strength and import it from the West Coast Eagles, they'll zoom up the ladder.
Look at the numbers there. Had the chance to get the ball over across the centre there, passage to Wayne Campbell, but he opted to go for Stevan Jackson. In the end, it turned out okay. And Jackson 4 goals in about 10 minutes.
Well, he really has been a terrific player in this third quarter for Richmond, Stevan Jackson. He's now kicked 6, and with 11 minutes left, they've still got the chance to pile on a few more. Stevens slips. It was a critical one. Gareth John gets the ball clear. Swans under enormous pressure. Maxfield back to Lambert. Lambert's kick. Francis reaching, couldn't quite gather it. Little kick, not bad. Hogg. Francis runs on, which was excellent football by the youngster, and he pops through, unfortunately for him, a behind.
He's been good today, hasn't he, Robo? Francis?
Yep. And a tall player who can cover a bit of territory, and you can afford to play. It looks as though he's playing on the wing, isn't he?
Yes, I think he started off, actually he started off on the wing, picking up Murphy, who was taken off the ground fairly early, because I think he just couldn't match him in the air. His lack of inch is really telling against this young Richmond player, who's done a particularly good job.
Mark Bayes doesn't know where to kick. No idea. 60 metres is not a bad option. Oh, good mark by Strooper. Away to Kapler. Kick by Kapler to half forward. Free. Can't take the mark. Goes to ground. Play on, says the umpire. Maxfield dishes the ball up to Lees. Back to Free. Short pass down the boundary line to Bauer. From halfback, Nathan Bauer. Over the wing. Jackson's here again. Almost another one-hander.
Tap on, beautiful. Bullis it was. His kick was smothered on that right half-forward flank position.
I think Jackson really having trouble getting his right hand above his head. He's competing okay when it's not coming in high, but when it does come in high, he is really struggling to get that arm up.
Bullis doing the ruck work. High was Lewis. Tap on. Chance for Naish. Naish off the left foot. Kicking towards centre-half forward is quite good, and Herneman takes the mark, and he could be an acquisition for Richmond. He's kicking towards the forward pocket. Hogg has taken the mark. He's led probably a little bit too deeply into the pocket, but he's got the football for Richmond. 13-10 the Tigers. Sydney is 6-5. Hogg has kicked 4. Very difficult shot though, this one. Jeff Hogg drops it on his boot and kicks it across the face. It may have just been touched by a Swans player. No, it wasn't. It's out on the full. So the free kick will go to the Swans to be taken by Gray. Long kick well outside the 50-metre area. Punched away by Schaefer, was good disciplined play. Lambert, skillfully, still trying to get the hand pass away. Waters on Maxfield, punched away. Now, desperate stuff shown there by McGovern.
He held on to too long there, Lambert, Robbo, really. His first option there was to get that hand pass to Maxfield, who was in the clear. When he tried to get it to him in the end, it was too late.
Just under 9 minutes to go to three-quarter time. Swans up towards centre wing. Luff outnumbered 2-1. Richmond everywhere. Hout, good hand pass to Naish. Naish centres. Heap of players here. John protects his eyes from the sun and takes the mark. That's nearly on. I don't want to be too harsh, but that's nearly the first decisive thing he's done.
And he had the great chance there to hand pass, and he's taken half an hour to get rid of the football.
Strooper tries to punch from behind Hout. Schaefer keeps the ball in only for the opposition. Strooper and Schaefer recovered pretty well there to get back. Waters for the Swans. High ball for Werner. Yeah, the only chance. He looked around for who else was there and finished up taking the mark.
That was a bit of experience there by Michael Werner.
Yes, he held him back, didn't he? That was good play by Werner. Pitura's looked okay though today, Robbo. He's done a pretty good job. You can just see him delaying his run there, Michael Werner, and then lunging at the end.
Well, Bernie, at 18 years of age, to be given that key defensive position in the first Foster's Cup match, Pitura must have something to look forward to.
Yeah. Werner kicks from 45 metres. Aims left. Wants the breeze to bring it back. It doesn't. Are behind. Michael Werner, 3 goals, 1. That's his first miss.
13-10, plays 6-6. And what can we do now, Bucky? Game of golf in this sunshine would probably be better than coaching the Swans this afternoon. Mark Pitura, 7.5 minutes left in the third term. And Pitura kicks well outside 50 metres. He gets very, very good distance with those raking left foot drop punt kicks. Good play by Naish. Excellent kick. Lee's go for the hand pass. He did. Campbell's running was magnificent. And Campbell's pass is very good. Hogg back to Campbell. The mark wasn't paid. Campbell in the left forward pocket. Very disciplined kick. And McQueen's made one of his rare errors. And a free kick is being paid to the Swans for a shepherding incident in that marking contest. And still the umpire controlling play back there, asking Ed Considine to go back and kick over the man on the mark. A thumping torpedo punt kick goes into the centre of the ground. Schaefer can't quite take the mark. Strooper has the football, could have nearly been penalised. Schaefer kicks it up towards centre half forward, and backing himself was McRae, but he was tackled. Angove, hand pass, intercepted by Francis, very skillful. Herman, hand pass, sweeper out there is Herneman. Herneman bounces kind for that player, gets onto the right foot and kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Well, the hand pass could have been better in the first instance, coming from Herman, I think it was. He really was under no pressure whatsoever and couldn't hit the target. In the end, Herneman was under a little bit of pressure trying to kick that goal.
Well, we lost another football. The brickwork you can see in the background used to be a velodrome. They've replaced the velodrome here. We might as well talk about the velodrome because there's no football. And now we have a football.
I think that old green label, the stuff that Carlton United make, Drew's getting a bit of a workout up here at Lavington this afternoon.
Well, it's a good day for it.
My word.
Got the wrong ball, I think, there.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's handed back an old ball or something.
It looks like a
plastic ball.
junior, doesn't it?
So Mark Bayes eventually. Hasn't been his best kicking day. Oh, gee, didn't he get up high, Francis?
He's hurt himself a bit too.
No, he's okay.
He's disappointed because he didn't take the mark.
Very disappointed.
Need the boarding pass to get up that high. Knocked to the back by John. Kapler puts it in front of Waters. Oh, they're fighting each other for the ball. Brunton gets a good deal of support from McGovern. He's kicked to centre half forward. One-hander taken by Howard.
I think really the lack of real match practice probably taking its toll on the Sydney Swans at this stage. Only a couple of practice matches they played against themselves, and really not the right preparation.
Here's Bauer gathering at ground level. Good penetration into the breeze. Hogg tries to dish the ball out. It comes off the shins of Bays. Is that a throw? Naish gets away with it to McQueen. Bit of a sidestep. Up to the goal square. Oh, and a good defensive mark taken by Lewis. That was looking like McQueen all over.
It was Bauer that kicked the ball in, and McQueen did eventually contest the mark back there with Lewis. So Lewis will defend now for the Sydney Swans, and he kicks it to the near side half-back flank region. Maxfield, good disciplined play, gets it down to Lambert. Lambert's kick into the pocket. Campbell has the football. He's inside 50. Could have nearly run on, but now decides to have a good look at what confronts him. And over in the short pass, and it's okay. And McQueen has the football a little bit too easily.
That's where the midfielders come into play there, Robbo. They really need to get back and fill up those gaps.
Well, 46 points is the advantage for Richmond. And when you had a good look at this game on paper, you probably would have thought it would have been a line ball. But the Tigers have certainly dominated the game through their key forwards, Jackson and Hogg. McQueen, shot for goal, comes back beautifully with the breeze as a goal. So Mark McQueen kicks his second goal. Jackson has kicked 6, Hogg has kicked 4, and the Tigers 14-10 lead the Swans 6-6.
Yes, their key forwards doing particularly well. Jackson 6 goals, Hogg 4, and as you said, Robbo, 2 to McQueen. That's 12 goals out of the 14 kicked by the key forward position players. Not getting a lot from their midfield running players, but when they're doing the job, who needs them?
So it's looking a sorry sight for the Swans, who've kicked just 2 goals since quarter time. There's Schaefer winning out of the middle. McQueen off the ground. Away they go again. Back to McQueen. From 50 metres, he pierces the breeze and gets his second score in 10 seconds. This time a behind.
Bernie, would you be tempted to take Stevan Jackson off the ground and just make sure that that shoulder's all right?
Well, I think he's going to pull up very sore after this game, Robbo. Stevan Jackson.
Well, they're going to win the game, aren't they?
Definitely. There's no doubt about it now. And he is having a lot of problems lifting that right arm, so it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to take him from the field.
Brunton marks Bay's kick in and goes very wide, too wide for Carroll. And the ball out of bounds, defensive side of wing. So it's poor disposal by the Swans, who find all other grounds pretty long after the Sydney cricket ground.
Yes, that's very true. Of course, getting used to playing on such a small ground as the SCG. Here's Naish for Richmond running through the centre. He's kicked towards half forward, and a good mark is taken back there for the Swans by Troy Gray. He handballs away to Kapler. Kapler's short kick, not too bad. Lewis made it nearly perfect. Angove up towards the right half forward area. Luff bounces okay. Well done. He got past Howard and kicks in towards full forward. No mark taken. Punched away. Back towards Bullis. And a little slow to get rid of it. Could have nearly been penalised. Swans working very, very hard on their half forward line, but they can't get the ball clear, and the umpire will call for a bounce.
Very ordinary since quarter time. Sydney have only added 2 goals 5 to their quarter time scoreline. 4 goals 1 at quarter time, now 6-6.
Bounce. Schaefer trying to crash his way through was McGovern. Campbell, the general, just looking on there to make sure the Swans don't break away, and the umpire will bounce once again. 2 3/4 minutes left in the third quarter, and it's all Richmond. Up high with Schaefer. Ball comes clear. Chance for Lewis. Leaves it for Nettlebeck. Umpire has found a free kick, and it may go to Lewis. Oh, their boys are getting a little anxious now. And the free kick is going to Nettlebeck, and the umpire just giving him a few instructions as to what they expect. And Nettlebeck has always looked a bit promising, hasn't he, Craig Nettlebeck, but hasn't quite come up to expectations.
Very quiet today, Nettlebeck.
He's kicking from about 40 metres out, and he's done it very nicely. He's kicked a goal. Nettlebeck kicks his first goal, and the Swans get their 7th, but they still trail miserably. 95 Richmond, 48 to Sydney.
Well, they really did need to show some authority after the half-time break, Sydney. Trailing by 29 points at the long interval. They came out and it was Richmond asserting the authority. There's Nettlebeck just urging his teammates on, but maybe they needed to do something a little bit earlier than this.
Just over 2 minutes to go to three-quarter time. Long time between goals for the Sydney Swans. Hurriedly out of the middle by Campbell. Francis 13 there. Kepler for the Swans. Lambert in there fighting hard for Richmond. And the ball goes out of bounds. Back pocket for the Swans. And we'll have a throw in.
We talk about ball handling, Bernie, earlier with Richmond doing it much better. There was a chance there for the Swans 2 or 3 times and they couldn't pick it up, kick it off the ground, and all they did was take it across the ground by about 45 metres and eventually got it out of bounds.
Campbell dishes over the hand pass looking for Hogg, but the ball taken out by Bays. Well, it must be hard. You do all the pre-season. It's all right to go to the Navy and, you know, lift weights and do all that stuff, but if you don't handle the footy in an actual match situation against an opposition,
exactly,
you don't know until you go on national television how you're going.
There's no substitute is there for the match practice.
Jackson trying to get through the pack, a little kick, not much coming of it until the Swans hurry it through for a rush behind to Richmond.
The Tigers could have a prospect here in number 24, Schaefer, who's doing pretty well in the ruck, 197 centimetres. He's only very lightly framed.
Looks as though he should be sponsored by a pencil company.
But very agile,
He's got the right name.
He is 87, he's pencil thin, that's for sure.
Bays to kick the ball back into play for the Swans. Goes straight down the ground looking for Kepler. John took an age to gather it, then left it behind. Still the Swans fumbling. Herman, one grab, away to Schaefer. Schaefer goes straight towards goal. Jackson, he's got it.
Gee, I'd hate to see him at full fitness. He has killed them in this quarter.
Well, that football didn't have Sharon written on it. It had Stevan Jackson's name.
And where was his opponent? 2 Richmond players down there against 1 Sydney Swan. And there he is. The opponent there, Mark Bays, is picking up Jeff Hogg. And Considine was picking up Mark Jackson, but he was nowhere near him on that occasion. As Gareth John comes off for the Sydney Swans to be replaced again by Gavin Rose.
Kick by Jackson, going for his 7th. And he makes no mistake. 7 goals to Stevan Jackson, 4 goals to Hogg, 2 goals to McQueen. And on the other side of the ledger, the only multiple goal scorer for the Swans has been Michael Werner, who's had about 6 kicks. He's been able to kick 3 goals.
And we saw that player breaking away, Robert Schaefer, recruited from Sturt, picked up in the national draft, and delivering that ball into the forward line where Jackson again took the mark.
Back in the centre with half a minute to go to three-quarter time. Waters caught holding it. Umpire says, originally play on, now give it to me. 102 plays 48. John Northey, he got Melbourne to the finals 5 years in a row. Punch out, intercepted by McRae. He weaves through the pack. Off the left boot, puts it wide for Werner. Good mark! And Werner should kick a goal with about a second left to three-quarter time. Well, he's kicked 3, 1 earlier in this quarter. And they've had the breeze in this quarter, the Swans. Still been outscored. They've only managed 7 goals for the game. Werner might have 4 of 8 by three-quarter time. Bit left. And he's missed it. So 3 goals, 2 to Michael Werner, the ex-Essendon player. And at three-quarter time, Richmond 15-12-102, Sydney 7-7-49. Beating by 53 points. They're coming home with the breeze.
Young Francis looks as though he may be playing at centre half forward now. Gray is his opponent. Up high was Schaefer, trying to crash his way through. For the Swans now, there's a chance. A high kick, Out towards the wing. Excellent mark taken by Lewis.
Great courage, wasn't it, Robbo?
He's got fantastic skills, Dale Lewis.
Well, that took more than skill. It took a bit of courage running with the flight of the ball.
He's kicked towards half forward, punched away. Richmond have the numbers. Herman's handball over the top, goes to Free. Took a little bit of a time, eventually to Bauer. Free ran on nicely and kicks it long towards full forward. Excellent mark.
That was a great mark, wasn't it? A strong mark out in front of his body.
Well, I don't think anyone's ever doubted that Jeff Hogg is a very good AFL player. And what an opportunity the Tigers have if they can, well, around the centre of the ground with Schaefer and Essler, if they can leave these guys. They've got Bullis at half-back and Howard at half-back, Pitura at full-back, but with Hogg and Jackson up on the forward line. And Hogg's kick just sneaks through for a goal. 5 goals now for Jeff Hogg. Stevan Jackson has kicked 7. And that scoreboard looking very, very sick for the Swans. But on the other hand, the Tigers that have plenty to be happy about their visit to Lavington.
Yes, I think they'd be very happy. John Northey, with his first look at the Tigers under match conditions, I think he'd be very pleased with the way things have turned out. And as I said, Rob, I'm very impressed with this young ruckman, Robert Schaefer.
Here goes Schaefer, number 24. Doesn't reach this one. Rose beats him. Lees is there for the Tigers. Clever kick outside of his boot, across the ground. Ball hurrying towards the boundary line, and look out, they'll be in the seats in a minute. Over they go. And Kapler was pushed into that and will take a free kick. Darren Kapler from just forward of centre wing. No great penetration with that kick into the breeze, too much elevation. Campbell dashes back for it. Nathan Bauer. Well shepherded and supported by teammates. And this is going to be a free kick. Back behind the play, Matthew Francis was just hauled out of the contest when the ball had long gone past.
I was just watching Dale Lewis shepherded there by Barry Young. And really, if you're going to be shepherded, don't just dodge the issue.
Well, he just stopped completely, didn't he?
Terrible.
Terrible, you're right.
Francis's kick up towards full forward, that was nearly a mark. Could quite easily have been paid. The Swans player at the back of the pack. Now an opportunity for some desperate stuff by Ian Herman at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire is calling now for a bounce. I know that can sound a little bit too critical, but you've got 17 other guys on the ground that are watching that, so their morale drops if they see a star player like that just...
I know exactly what you mean. When the tackler or the shepherder came at him, he just stopped. He was not interested in chasing or making a contest of it.
Gee, it's just missed another fantastic mark there, Bernie. This is McQueen again, leaping as the ball was hovering in the air. Fantastic effort.
Yeah, it's getting there, jumping a little bit early. And what a forward line they've had today, Richmond.
Well, how's this team finished 13th last year and never been really out of the bottom zone?
Well, I don't think that they were absolutely hopeless last year.
No,
they caused some problems and they lost a few games by narrow margins. Well, McQueen has kicked his 3rd goal. And the Tigers, this is going to be an absolute whitewash by the end of the game. They've still got 16.5 minutes left with the breeze at their back. They could kick 25 goals quite easily.
Quite easily. And really, the small man area has never been a problem with Richmond. They've had very good rovers. On-ballers have been fine. With the inclusion of a couple of fine, taller players, they could be a pretty good combination in 1993.
Well, you mentioned that Kevin Bartlett and Alan Jeans will probably be watching the telecast. They'd probably be saying, I knew that kid would make it, and maybe some of these are coming on at a time when they're no longer there.
No doubt whatsoever, Drew. You're spot on there, because a guy gets to 10, 15, 20, 25 games, and certainly if a new person talking to them it can all just change so quickly for them. And I think this is what's happening with Richmond. They've got a few players like, you know, Campbell, Naish, Lambert, who's been there for quite a while, but gee, they've got some promising influx of players too.
A lot of players around this. Waters gets the hand pass clear. It's intercepted, and away go the Tigers again, and going for a run up the ground. Kick comes in from Young. He steered it well, and the mark taken by Francis.
It was a very clever chip kick, wasn't it?
I was going to say, Young is a player, Bernie, that's he's been around for a few years, Barry Young, and he's had a few problems with injuries. He's can be classified as an undisciplined player at times, but he could be the guy that John Northey may make all the difference with.
And the goal naturally is kicked from right in front. So Francis gets his second goal. The Tigers race to 18-12, leading the Swans 7-7.
Yes, he's been a very good player today, Francis. Playing in the long sleeves, Matthew Francis, 2 goals, 1. And then we see that chip pass there coming from Barry Young. Francis's opponent was doing the chasing, and he slipped in there and took the very easy pass.
So do you think maybe John Northey might be lucky, arriving at the right time when these blokes are coming on?
Oh, I think it's just a different voice, really. I think that KB did reasonably well, and Alan Jeans, of course, I think he had a few health problems, but they look pretty sharp today. Bauer, his kick into the right forward pocket. Jackson's been awarded a free kick. It's a procession.
He was being held there, yes, certainly, Robbo. Also, the inclusion of a few of these interstate recruits has made a big difference to this side. Bullis at centre-half back has done a pretty good job. And you're looking at Schaefer, who I've already spoken about. He's got a tremendous leap. He just needs to put a bit more meat on his frame. Only 87 kilos and 197 centimetres, so he's got a little bit of work to do in the gymnasium. And they've got the experience on the forward line. Jackson and Hogg, both capable goal kickers.
Well, he's let himself down there, Stevan Jackson. He probably should have kicked that, but still, he's kicked 7. He's kicked 7-2, as a matter of fact. And Richmond's score progresses by that behind. And with 14 3/4 minutes left, Mark Bayes will kick it back into play.
Once again, he's not sure, but this time he's kicking into the breeze, so it's going to need to be a decent kick to clear the area. Gets a good lead from Considine, who marks on the 50. High ball short of half forward. Crummers are wanted by the Swans. It's a Richmond crumb, but intercepted by Kapler. Now they've lost it. Lees comes out wide. Maxfield takes the mark.
When they're not taking any marks, why would Considine bomb away?
Well, exactly. It was a very ordinary kick there from Considine. High and just inviting rain, but the Richmond players, terrific at ground level. They've really won in just about every area, haven't they?
They've been very disciplined. I think that's one of the key things that I've noticed about them. Mind you, I did tip them to be the big improvers last year. I've copped a bit of flack over that. Where did you say they finished last year? 13th.
They beat 2 home. Sydney and Brisbane. Here's Kapler. Bit of penetration with that kick, but Nettlebeck got way underneath the ball. Here's Bullis. Untidy looking player, but he gets it away to Pitura, who does very well out to free. Zigzag football out of defence, keeping possession. Great stuff. Lee's kick to centre half forward, but his first long kick in that passage gave it away to Lewis.
And Lewis's hand pass is wider still to Bayes. Bayes doesn't usually let you down with his kicking, and that one was very good to Luff. In turn, he went to Baldwin, and Baldwin's kick has been marked, well, fairly wide in that left forward pocket, half forward flank region by Stevens, and he'll kick the Swans right into the goal square. A high kick goes away with the breeze. Yes, a good mark. Well done. Put himself in front of the pack there, Strooper, and he's taken a very good mark. So David Strooper, yet to kick a goal, has a chance here for the Swans to post their 8th goal.
Just looking into the sun there made it even more difficult, but Strooper getting his body in front, in the right position to take it.
Just looking at Richmond's interchange as Strooper goes for goal, and it's pretty close. He may have just sneaked this through. He has.
Yes, and amongst others to come back for the Sydney Swans. They haven't given up hope of getting Barry Mitchell. If he drops his price a bit, they might draft him back in the March draft. Needs to drop the price, though. Here's Carroll. Oh, the hand pass was a floater. Tigers have got it. Lost it again. Carroll fumbles. Oh, great play by Lees. He just met that player head on. Comes to Herneman. He goes from 50. Not a bad kick. Oh, it's home. Oh, touched right on the line. In fact, it's a free kick, no score. Free kick to the Swans. To be taken by Considine. Nobody on the mark, so he had a free run at that. Up into the centre square. Bunch of bodies. We get a ball up out of this. Bullis last man up.
Actually, I was just going to say something before about the Richmond interchange players. Lambert has just come off, and Bannock, who has been a good player, he's had a problem with an illness, I think, Bernie, hasn't he? Anthony Bannock.
Fever last year.
That's right, he was out for almost the entire season.
Todd Bremen is on the interchange bench, hasn't had a run yet today. Scott Turner got a slight injury early in the game. So the Tigers aren't looking all that bad for well, some sort of an assault in 1993.
Bremen originally wasn't in the 22. He replaced Matthew Knights, who pulled out.
Right. Nettlebeck. Get rid of it quickly, son. Gee, the Richmond boys pounced on him. This young boy shows promise. Pitura kicks it quickly. Francis, not quite able to control the football, but giving him some help was free. Bauer got himself into a little bit of bother. Goes back to do the Shepherd. That's what I like about that. Still got the football. Affects the Shepherd himself. Free. Richmond in trouble. They've been worried out of it. Now Strooper. Strooper against the boundary line in the left forward pocket. Short kick, and it's been marked by Johnny Howard.
Francis off for the Tigers. He's been replaced by Bremen. He got a nasty knee there in that clash with Stevens.
Looked like a bad corky or something.
Yes, or the hip, Drew. A very painful area.
Rose. Good mark. Gets the hand pass out. Gray. Very high ball into the breeze. I'm glad I'm not standing under that one. Strooper's sorry he was.
Yeah, it's also kicking to a stationary player, Drew. There's not much movement. There's that incident with Francis copping that knee around that hip area, and he was taken straight off the ground.
As well played by Bullis out of defence. Carroll for the Swans goes backwards with the hand pass to Gray. Now it comes to Campbell. Well done by Bannock. Campbell over the centre circle, opening up space for Maxfield. Kapler's a bit of a sprinter. Comes back into the contest. Maxfield beats him. Good stuff. Chance here. McQueen. Oh, he's got it again.
They're everywhere. There again, without an opponent, McQueen. The Sydney Swans players really haven't shown a lot of discipline picking up their men.
If you swing the changes in modern day football with the 4 interchange players, can players, if they're just a little bit down in discipline, can they lose context of what's happening with picking up certain players?
It can happen, but really those players on the back line there, Considine has got Jackson, and I think it's Gray that's got McQueen, and they've had those for the last half of the game, Robbo, so you cannot blame it there.
4 to McQueen. Well, Maxfield did well because Kapler is not a slow player, and this is a good race here. And Maxfield, with a bit of assistance actually from Bremen, who came in.
I like that Maxfield.
Yeah.
He just goes straight at the footy, and he gives you a real good effort for most of the game.
He's enthusiastic, isn't he?
My word.
And that's what this young side has been really good today in that department.
Well, with 9 minutes left, that's young Matthew Francis on the boundary line for Richmond, unfortunately with a bit of an injury. Let's hope it's not too serious, but Richmond go marching on. 4 goals to Mark McQueen, 19-13 to 8-7. They're going forward again. Campbell, Herneman, the dasher is Naish, and Naish bangs it through for another one. Bernie, I reckon, well, I won't say I could get a kick, but certainly you look as though you could get a kick out there if you had a Richmond jumper on.
Well, certainly the sting's gone out of the game a long time ago, Robbo. It was very competitive in that first quarter. Richmond split it wide open in the second term when they completely outplayed the Swans, and it's been one-way traffic ever since. It really, Buckenara has plenty of problems in getting this side into a competitive nature. They've really struggled today. Not much improvement shown from last year as far as I can see.
That's a decent score in shortened quarters to have kicked 20 goals. Missed altogether there by Bauer. Maybe the Swans can get something out of this. Outnumbered 2-1 here, free. His man is Stevens. Luff gets it for the Swans. The hand pass is blind. Inside centre half forward. Stevens again. Nettlebeck on the turn. Very delicate kick. It gets to Luff and he kicks the goal. I didn't think the kick was going to have the carry. And I thought Luff was going to have to wait an eternity for the ball to reach
it. It didn't have the carry, and I think Troy Luff was a bit worried about it.
He's pretty fortunate. It bounced okay for him, Troy Luff. He's made hard work of it, the Sydney Swans. There's a kick from Nettlebeck around the corner. Fortunately, sat okay for Troy Luff. And he kicked his first goal. Only the second for the term for the Sydney Swans.
He still did get a clip around the ear that he wasn't going to get if the kick had been a bit better.
That's right. Yes, it looked a rather anxious few seconds there, but they got the goal anyway. Rose arriving just a little late, may have interfered with Schaefer there. Yes, that's the way the umpire sees it. Francis is on his feet, which is good for Richmond on the boundary line. Tigers go forward. Young, and McQueen is marked again. He's got good hands.
He is playing like Steve McQueen. He's killed it.
Again, too much latitude given by the Sydney Swans defenders.
Well, we mentioned McQueen quite a few times, particularly in the second half. High kick into the square. No mark taken. Oh, it's kicked through, isn't it?
Bannock,
certainly
a defender.
Kicked through by Bannock. So Bannock kicks his first goal. He's only been on the ground for about 3 minutes. And Richmond get their 21st. 21 goals, 13 to 9-7.
Here we have a look again in replay. Jackson up very high from the back. And Bannock doing the roving. Of course, he started his career with the Tigers as a back pocket and played very well in that position. And I think he's capable of playing at either end of the ground.
Just over 7.5 minutes to go. 6 goals to 2 in this last quarter, Richmond. Free kick in the middle to Rose. Brian Lees backs into the pack to take this mark. Comes across the ground. He's got Bauer. They can have a cut lunch and roll a cigarette. He's got that much time. Over the top. Oh, he drew players to Young. Young did pretty well there.
Fantastic.
Close to the boundary line.
Yes, coming from Bremen.
Campbell's kick. Jackson gets rid of his opponent. Bayes is there, but taken over the boundary line by Hogg.
Sorry, Drew, for interrupting, but
no worries.
That passage of play,
Don't do it again.
It gets made by players like Bremen.
Yeah. And the Richmond fans who've travelled up the highway are giving it the Hoggy, 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 reminding us of Rodney Hogg at the MCG against Boycott. But it's for their new skipper, Jeff Hogg. Oh, gee. The Swans haven't cleared the area yet. Very dangerous play. Bayes to Considine. Now they're out of trouble. Brunton takes the mark.
Brunton's hand pass over the top finds Kapler. And Kapler gets onto that left foot and kicks it a long way up towards half forward. Mark is taken by Nettlebeck. Nettlebeck passes in towards full forward, looking for Werner. Richmond have got the numbers. Chance there for McGovern. Picked up by Baldwin. Baldwin's kick slews off the side of his boot, and it goes out of bounds in that right forward pocket for the Sydney Swans. 6 minutes left. 21-13. Richmond 9-7. Sydney. Goal kickers. Jackson's kicked 7. Hogg's kicked 5, and McQueen has kicked 4 for Richmond. And Werner has kicked 3. Well done by Pitura. His kick doesn't quite clear the danger area. A high kick by the Swans goes back in towards the full forward position, and Lees takes it over for a boundary throw in that left forward pocket. So a lot of the interest has gone out of the game now, with the Swans very miserable on the scoreboard. Cresswell gets his foot to the ball. Richmond just very, very sincere in their efforts, even though they lead by, 13 goals. Here goes Bullis. Bit of a rough and ready sort of a customer, but has a bit of a dip at centre-half back. This guy loves going with the footy. Campbell, have another bounce. Could have. Didn't worry, kicked the goal anyway. Campbell's kicked his second, and that ball went from one end of the ground to the other in about 5 or 8 seconds.
Yes, tremendous pace there shown by Campbell as Stevan Jackson comes off the ground. Also Gareth John back on for the Sydney Swans. Esler coming on for the Tigers. A great game by Jackson playing in that forward line. Esler was replaced by Schaefer earlier, who's doing the ruck work. Esler to go into that forward pocket.
So Stevan Jackson has gone off the ground for the Tigers. He's kicked 7 goals, 5 of them came in the 3rd quarter. But what a run that was by Campbell. Wayne Campbell kicking his 2nd goal. He was 5th in the league last year, average possessions per game, 26 possessions a game. And they've got time, they can win by 100 points, the Tigers, and they look as though they will. Bannock, mark taken by McQueen. Centre corridor football wanted by the Tigers. Hogg's there, waits at the back, the ball doesn't reach him, and the mark's taken by Considine. Kick by Ed Considine, up to the cricket pitch in the middle. Tigers have the crummers, Lees. Gets rid of the hand pass, it's all right. Campbell again, beats one. Walks around the opposition, kicks into space for Hogg. On the bounce, beaten by the bounce, and Bayes takes it away from him and out of bounds. We've got just under 5 minutes remaining, and the margin is 84 points. So 3 more goals to nothing, and they can win by a century, which in 20-minute quarters plus time on is a hell of a hiding.
Well, they've still got a chance. Bremen dragged off the football. Essler, Scott Waters working very hard in that pack and gets his foot to the ball, kicks it about 40 metres back towards the centre of the ground. Chance here for Baldwin. Hand pass has been intercepted by Schaefer, and Schaefer, in his enthusiasm or over-exuberance, the ball way off the side of his boot, and it's out of bounds on the full. Considine kicks the ball back towards centre wing, marking contest. Schaefer does well to punch it away from John. Picked off by Baldwin. Kick is short. Lees in a bit of trouble. He still has the football underneath him, and he may get a free kick, Brian Lees. And he did that quite nicely.
He's played a good game, Lees. Solid in defence again for the Tigers.
He was a big improver. Was it last year? He did very well. Played most games, I think, last year. Now Campbell coming into the game. Bannock thumps it in towards full forward. Hogg punched away by Bayes. Chance here for Lewis. Hand pass goes towards Gray. Bit of a dust up behind play. What's the umpire going to do? Give a free kick to the Swans, is it? And it will go back to Gray at left half back for the Sydney Swans. 22-13 plays 9-7.
Across the ground he goes. Considine takes the mark. The kick up towards centre wing. McGovern can't mark, but was pushed out and will take the free kick. Reminder that most viewers after the football will be taking the skins from Sanctuary Cove with Greg Norman, Nick Price, Ian Baker-Finch and Craig Parry after the footy. Here's Pitura for Richmond. High ball just over the centre, and Lewis takes an uncontested mark. Hand passes around the neck of Turner, and once it's gone to a Swans teammate, I'm not sure why the umpire ever pulled it up.
He must have missed that hand pass, Drew. The only reason for it.
A leap by Nettlebeck, unsuccessful. Chance for McGovern, dashes inside 50, goes for goal, good kick. Andrew McGovern, a couple of years ago, played in a Claremont Premiership team in Western Australia in his 2nd year with the Swans.
It's too little too late for Sydney. They've been behind the 8 ball since quarter time. Hopefully just chased tails, Tiger tails since then. And they've had all the answers, Richmond. A terrific performance. They've shown great endeavour. They've had good big man strength, and at the bottom of the packs, the little men have been excellent as well.
Ruckman go at it once again. Comes back to Naish. Naish off the left foot. Kick towards full forward. Punched away by Bayes. Swans in defence. Dennis Carroll kicks it out wide. Well, it was a good pass, but Luff dropped it. Kapler, hand pass away to Waters. Waters kick in towards the forward pocket region. Free on Cresswell. Got away a little bit too easily, and now the free kick is going to Richmond to be taken back there by Tony Free. So Cresswell just a little indiscriminate in his tackle on Tony Free. The short pass is all right, and it's taken by Herman.
He floats one over the top. Campbell. Bannock, who kicked a goal earlier on. Little goatee beard this year, Anthony Bannock. Waters' hand pass straight to the opposition. Comes to Naish. Hogg, spoiled by Bayes. Hogg hits the deck. No whistle. Bayes is back there. chopped out of his arms by Bremen. A chance here for Richmond. The kick for goal is not, or hit the post.
Would have been Herneman.
Herneman it is, the West Australian.
Wasn't a bad effort from deep in that left forward pocket. The kick in comes towards this near side wing where two Swans players have outnumbered Bremen, and the latter is Kapler. Ooh, Luff Shepherd on Bremen, severe. Punched away. Werner's a chance. He's just outside 50 metres. Hand pass. Strooper caught. Richmond have got good numbers there. They'd 4-2, and away they come through Pitura. Up towards Turner, who's come back onto the ground, and Bauer. The ball goes over for a boundary throw-in. Just over a minute left in this match, and Richmond 22-14, Sydney 10-7. A very impressive performance by the Tigers. Ruck contest, umpire has picked a free kick out of it, and it may go to Gareth John.
I don't know how you pick it though, Robbo. It looked to be 50-50 in that ruck contest.
A bit of sympathy maybe. John gets good distance with that kick in towards centre half forward, but an excellent mark taken back there for Richmond by Howard.
It looks as though commitments might beat us here, and we're crossing to the golf at Sanctuary Cove. We might just miss the end of the footy, but there's certainly no doubt about the result. 146 plays 67. Tigers might add another goal. Here's Bannock up towards full forward. Punch to the front. The Swans have the numbers there. Well, we're going to be leaving the footy here as Lees goes for goal and misses. It's been a comfortable victory by Richmond over the Sydney Swans.